to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins, and today what I want to show you guys is how I like to do a reverse seared beef tenderloin. I've got a USDA Prime beef tenderloin. It's about 3.5 pounds. Left over, I saved a little bit of it. I staked the others into filet mignons, and then I saved a little bit of this because it just makes perfect petite fillets. Awesome for a reverse sear. And this is gonna go onto our pub food playlist. It's a little bit of an oddball. I worked in pubs for about 5 years, and typically you didn't really see a lot of steaks or especially beef tenderloin, but occasionally they'd run them as specials. And when they did, they always sold out. And I'll tell you something right now, the one you're about to see would sell out in a heartbeat. Let's get to grilling. Okay guys, so right here, I have a 3-pound USDA Prime beef tenderloin roast. Okay, and I pulled it out of the freezer a couple days ago. It's been doing its thing in the fridge. Now we want to get the season. We don't want to let it hang out and come up to room temperature. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this olive oil and just brush some olive oil across this roast. For seasoning, I've got Killer Hogs TX brisket rub. Always goes well with beef. And now for a little pop of heat and something funky, we're gonna be using the Meat Church Holy Voodoo Rub. This will give us a nice color too. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this roast over and give this backside the same treatment. Olive oil and the Killer Hogs TX. And then the Meat Church Holy Voodoo. Now we're gonna let it hang out for a little while, let it come up to room temperature. We're gonna run our grill right at 275. We're doing a reverse sear. I'm gonna go get the grill fired up shortly. In the meantime, we're just gonna let this hang out. We're gonna set this Filet Mignon roast or beef tenderloin roast right there in the upper right hand corner of the smoker. And that's where I know it's going to be the warmest. And on a day like today, when it's 22 degrees out here in New England, being on the warm end of the smoker isn't a bad thing. So we're gonna get a probe in this. We're gonna set it for exactly 115 degrees. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my probe right in the very center of this beef tenderloin. Got the ThermalWorks dot set right at 115 degrees. We're at 46 degrees right now. We're just going to be keeping an eye on it, and once we hit 115, we'll be ready for the cast iron and for our final sear. So we got a screaming hot cast iron skillet here, and it's loaded full of the rendered fat from the guanciale we cooked. Now I'm going to take this beef, I'm going to set it right in, and we're probably only going to do about 30 seconds aside. That's all we're going to need. After 30 seconds, give it a flip. And a nice sear on the opposite side. That should about do it. Okay guys, here we are, 3-pound beef tenderloin, USDA Prime, done reverse sear. Can't wait to get into this. Smells absolutely amazing. Before we do, let's go through what we did. Now, 3-pound beef tenderloin, lean cut of meat, but can also be very, very tender if you do it correctly. So what we wanted to do is put some seasoning on it. And for this, I just used the Killer Hogs TX brisket rub, and then I used the Meat Church Holy Voodoo rub for a little bit of a flavor pop and a touch of heat to it. And you can do this however you'd like. You can coat the whole thing in butter and then, you know, hit it with some salt, pepper, garlic, some rosemary, something like that. Have fun with this. But seasoned, savory, you want to taste that beef. Got it on the smoker at 275, and we set our ThermalWorks dot probe to go off at 115, pulled it off, and then we seared it in some rendered guanciale fat. About 20 seconds per side, 20 to 30 seconds per side, depending on what time you pull this off at. You want to be careful with that. You don't want to overcook it. You can always cook it a little further if you want to. So after we seared it, we wrapped it in foil, we let it rest for about 20 minutes, And now I'm gonna cut this dead center. I'm gonna see what we're dealing with. Well, the knife is just falling through. And that right there looks like some awesome beef tenderloin. That right there is perfect, mid-rare. I'm gonna slice one of these off. Try this for sure. Oh man. Give me a bite here. And here we go, reverse seared USDA Prime beef tenderloin. It's exquisite. It's melting in your mouth. It's so tender. It's so tender. It's totally worth spending the extra money on Prime. This is just absolutely out of this world. Awesome, very straightforward method to cook an absolutely killer beef tenderloin on your grill. Set that grill up for indirect heat, 275 until you temp at 115. Pull it off, give it a quick sear, and you'll get a little bit of carryover. This is like perfect mid-rare. Perfect mid-rare. I'm gonna try something here. Got this fork. Now I'm gonna see if I can. Now that is fork tender. I just cut the steak with my fork. That's unbelievable. That is incredible. See if I can do it again. Bingo. Perfect. Perfect fillet. And that's all she wrote. Oh, listen guys. I don't think I need to say too much more about this. I think you just saw it. This is a win all day, every day. If you like what you see here, you like what we're doing on this channel, give us a subscribe. Check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Leave your comments in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time.